From Chicago streets to the courts beat, Sal Scott Dan on the podcast seat. Bulls breaking news, talking stats and views. Every player, every play, we never lose. Horns over hoops, we're the Bulls troop. From game analysis to fan scoop.
What is good, Horniac Nation and Bulls fans worldwide, and welcome back to another action-packed episode of the Horns Over Hoops podcast. We are your hosts for the evening, Sal Bass and Scott Berman. Dan Gracie has the night off today. That slacker is on vacation, so enjoy yourself, Dan Gracie. But joining us from Just Another Year Sports, you know him from Just Another Year Bulls. He does great live analysis. I watch every single one of his live breakdowns of the game. He's a great commentator. Joining us from Just Another Year, Phil. Phil, how's it going? Thank you for coming, and how about them Bears, man?
How about them Bears, man? Bear down, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about it, because we don't get to celebrate very many Bears victories and happy Bears points. So let's celebrate. What'd you think of the game?
Frustrating that we couldn't punch it in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Ben Johnson's play calling left a little bit to desire there, but overall, I'm not going to complain about a win. Every win in the National Football League is hard to come by, as we know.
Yeah.
If you're a Bears fan. So, yeah, the defense played really good. I'm excited to see if we can make a playoff push because, if we can get healthy for the playoffs, then nobody's really played our number one defense yet, to be honest.
Very true. We've had a lot of key defensive players out, and it's been sad, but we still managed to pull out some dubs. I mean, the last couple wins have been kind of scary. I mean, what was it, that one? Who do we play? When it was 41-27, and with 2 minutes left, they punched 2 touchdowns in and made it a nail biter.
Was
that the Ravens?
The
Bengals, yeah. And then here within like a minute left of the game, we managed to let up a touchdown. But Caleb Williams do Caleb Williams things, and we got the dub. So
that's a fact.
But welcome all the same. Thanks for joining us. Before we get into the show, I know about you, but I'd really like for you to introduce yourself to everybody watching right now.
Of course, man. I appreciate it. So my name is Philip Charles Vanderhayden IV, if everyone wants to know the whole mouthful, but Phil is totally cool by me. I'm with Just Another Year Chicago Bulls, as far as a part of the Just Another Year brand. For anyone that wants to follow me on social media, be at JAYC Phil and then at JAYCHI_Bulls. I also founded something called Bulls Without Borders, which is me bringing together just different hosts and stuff like that from the Bulls content creation community. And we've done a few episodes. That's pretty cool. That's Bulls Without Borders on YouTube, or at Borderless Bulls on X, because they don't allow me enough characters to do Bulls Without Borders. But yeah, I'm 35. Been a lifelong Chicago fan. I was born into it, for better or worse.
Yeah, I love it. We're all around the same age, 36, 35. I love it. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that Bulls Without Borders, because that is quickly becoming one of my favorite shows. It's literally like anyone who's seen The Godfather, when he has the meeting with the 5 families, it's like exactly that. It's the meeting of all the top Bulls content creators on the market right now, and it makes for a spectacular show. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't one of the keys for it being Without Borders is you literally have fans from Australia, the content creator from Australia, UK, shout out Neil, and all basically without borders.
Yes, that was the reason I started it, really. I thought it was really cool that there was people in the content creation community that were literally just like anywhere in the world, Neil being from Ireland, he was with Matt for a while, and Matt was in the UK or in England, and then, Troy from Australia. I was like, how cool would it be if we all like got together and talked ball like on the same show?
Yeah.
So that was really the idea for it. And, like I said, I've only done a few, but I'm excited to keep growing that and bring other people in. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Anytime.
And it'll be a lot of fun to toss Bulls opinions around. And I just really want it to be a go-to place for Bulls debate, Bulls talk, anything, for especially when everybody's favorite content creators are on the show.
Yeah, kudos to you. What impresses me the most about that show is, as we all know, we're all in different time zones, and you managed to get Ireland on at the same time, and then Australia was 16 hours ahead. Kudos to you for organizing that. That must be a head case once in a while.
There's literally a 2-hour space that we have. If it doesn't happen in that time period, it's not going to happen. Because there's like one time because Neil, kudos to Neil, he's the one that takes the bullet because he's got to get on at like 11:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
in order to make it work. And Australia's getting on at like 10 a.m. I'm getting on at like 5 p.m. So it's actually, we literally film in 2 different dates because Australia is filming the next day. And then we're filming the day before. And then Neil, it changes from one date to the other while we're filming for him. So
Wow.
yeah, crazy. But it's that's what I think is kind of the allure of it, is like how wild that whole thing is.
Yeah. I know a few times I've met with Neil, like getting just, and that's just one person, getting our time zones to sync up, because I like to be courteous. I don't want that man to be up, 2, 3 in the morning just so that it can be, comfortable time for me. So kudos to you. Shout out Neil again.
Neil's
he
the
does
man.
great stuff over there.
Yeah.
Scotty B, don't think I don't see you over there. How you doing today, brother? Beautiful Sunday. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Yeah. Just watched a questionable Bears game, but every Sunday is a questionable Bears game.
But a win's a win, right?
Yeah. We're in first place. We're in first place. That's all that matters.
I'd rather watch a questionable Bears win than some of the questionable Bears losses that we've been.
You mean every game last year? They wouldn't have won last year.
The entire Eberflus experience, Dweeberflus.
Yeah.
God.
But gentlemen, thank you all for joining our show today. I like to start every show out, Phil, with a game that I like to call Tuesday Trivia. I didn't coin it. I just put Tuesday and Trivia together because that's when our show comes out. And today's Tuesday Trivia, I want to pick your guys' brains here because there's been rumors swirling all over the Twitter sphere about a certain person being rumored connected to Chicago and more than just his hometown roots. I see that eye roll. I know you know who I'm talking about. Gentlemen, today's Tuesday Trivia is this. With the rumors of Chicago legend Anthony Davis potentially coming to Chicago Bulls, a lot of questions arise like, why do we want him? He's injury prone. And I think the injury proneness is one of our biggest concerns. So with that being said, I want to question you guys and ask, what was Anthony Davis's most healthy season? What that means is, what is the most amount of games he's played in a season and what year? I'll let you answer first, and if you don't get it, we'll let Scott go.
Ooh, man. I would say maybe was it the COVID year? Was it the year of I know that they won a championship that year. I guess I'll go with that. I'll go and I'll say that he played 60 healthy games. That's off the top of my head, 60 healthy games in 2020, 2021.
He actually did not play the most in 2021. He actually only played 36 games that year. I know.
Yeah,
I believe it was a bit. Yeah, I know. We're all like, oh, Anthony Davis sneezed. He's going to be out for the season.
Yes, absolutely.
Scott, want to take a stab at it?
I believe his early Pelicans years, he was playing most of the season. Like, he didn't actually start getting injured till like year 6 or 7, but it's got to be close to 70. So when he was an MVP candidate, and then he decided, I can no longer have knees.
Chicago sports flares and knees, they don't get along well another. Scott, you're the closest. Okay, so this is going to blow your mind, but Anthony Davis's most games that he's played in a year, 76. And it was only 2 years ago in the 2023-24 season.
Wow.
Oh.
That's incredible. So
how wild is that?
Never, even during the years
his next biggest game was the 2016-2017 season where he played 75, and then 2017-2018 where he played 75 as well. So
never 80.
Never 82.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that, and the reality is he's only had a handful of seasons. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons where he's played under 60 games. And gentlemen, since we're in these waters, we're going to just address the rumors because I don't know about you. I'm not a big rumor guy. I like what they do as far as bringing attention to the team, but I just hate the banter on Twitter about it. How would you guys feel about a Anthony Davis, the Chicago Bulls reunion, or not reunion, Chicago reunion?
So if you could guarantee me that he would be healthy, I think I'd be a lot more inclined to say yes. But my instinct is that he's not going to get any. It's not going to get any better. You'd think that as he's getting older, it's just going to get worse. And I just don't really think it fits our timeline well enough. I would prefer personally to see what this team let this team develop more. And, other than, because in order to acquire Anthony Davis, I've seen the trade proposals. It's like multiple first round picks. Like, we just got our full draft cabinet back. Like, let's just keep that and develop with what we got. And if there's a center out there to trade for, I'd rather it be a young rim protector, not, somebody towards the end of their career. Like, if Walker Kessler can be got, I like that idea a lot more than Anthony Davis personally.
Yeah, I know that. He just came off injury, right? He just got hurt.
He's hurt for the year.
Yeah. So
his value might be, I mean, they said they're not going to re-sign him, but he's averaging 2 blocks a game and he's much younger. I just think that's a better idea.
Yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. I like the fact that, we get a down low presence. Vuce is a great offensive, although I don't know, as of late, he's still number 2 on our team in points per game here. But at the same time, I feel like the last 3 games, we haven't really seen a real sample size of Vuce here. So I wholeheartedly agree. We'd go after a better candidate. Scotty B?
I can tell you one exact reason why we're not going to get him. The Bulls cried all summer about trying to pay Josh Giddey $30 million, and they're going to give a hurt AD $60 million a year. Not a chance.
Good point.
Especially on the cusp of a Kobe White.
Yeah.
Well, although I did see Kobe White
literally
just being traded.
The Mavericks just re-signed him this year. It was like they paid him $175 million for 3 years for a guy that hasn't played a full season. When was that? When did you say that was? 2014 or 2 years ago? But
he's never played a full NBA season. He's never played a full 82 games.
He's not worth 58.
Okay. Let me play devil's advocate here because I like looking on the other side of the coin here. Let's say, and I know nobody can guarantee you he plays 82 games. Nobody can guarantee you that. Where would you put him as far as centers is if he plays a healthy season at this level of his career? Because he's, 13, 14 years in now. So where would you put him as far as the centers or the bigs? Because he's a forward center. Where would you put him as far as bigs in this league, Phil?
If I'm going to, so if you're guaranteeing me that he's healthy, he's good. He's really good. I think he's top 10 still. I don't know if I'm making him top 5, right? Because you got some really great centers in the league now. You could probably drop Joel Embiid out of there, but he's being replaced by Victor Wembanyama. So, you got him, you got Joker. You could technically make Giannis. Giannis can play any position on the court. I'd say he's probably top 10. If he's top 5, it'd be 5. But I would have to think about it. Like, I'd have to go through all the rosters to think for sure. But I think safely top 10.
Yeah, that's a good place to put him. Scotty B, where would you put him?
If you're doing power forwards and centers.
Yeah, just big men.
I would say he's top 10. He's not better than Sengun. I don't think he's better than Karl-Anthony Towns right now. Jalen Duren is playing out of his mind. So there's a lot of younger players that are starting to come up. Is Chet better than him? That's another
question. He's an NBA champion, so.
I think I'd rather have Chet. At this point in their careers, I'd rather have Chet.
Yeah. But a healthy Anthony Davis is an MVP candidate, or can be.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players that are better than him. And so, yeah. But I would say he's pretty close to top 10.
So obviously acquiring an Anthony Davis, I know, Phil, you said that there was, you've seen some trade scenarios. I've only seen a couple. Did you happen to remember any of them? What exactly we gave up? Because I know I scrolled past a couple and it looks like we're selling the farm to get this guy. So
yeah, so every one of them I've seen are 3 players, 3-player combinations, and it's been like Vooch, Kobe, Patrick Williams, or I think I've seen Vooch, Herter, Jalen Smith. There was one I've seen that was like, God, what was it? It didn't have Kobe in it. It was Vooch, I can't remember the other one. This one was a little bit better, but a lot of them have Kobe White in them. Like most of the trade scenarios I've seen have Kobe White and Vooch in them, because I guess that would be the hook for them, right? Is that Kobe White fills a need for their franchise. They don't really have a great ball handler, especially with Kyrie out. So, and then when Kyrie came back, you could fit Kobe next to him. But overall, I just think, sure, the player combinations aren't bad. Like, it's the picks that bother me more than anything.
Yeah.
Because they all include 2 first-rounders.
Yeah. I'm with you. I know me. I'm really big on building through the draft. I love our draft picks, and I hate when we trade them away. If we get the guy, I don't mind it. But when in the history of this franchise have we traded for that guy via first round picks? You know what I mean? Who've actually panned out to be that guy? You know what I mean? We're always rumored, but we always end up giving away first round picks for like, you know, Vooch, you know, and then DeMar, you know, Lonzo, what have you. It's never turned out like we've never made a blockbuster trade to bring in a real superstar to this league. So Scotty B, have you seen any?
No, I saw Bulls might be interested in Anthony Davis. Then I closed it because I didn't want to read any part of that.
All right. Well, since you've mentioned it, is there any scenario where you would want Anthony? Because I will argue, I think that a healthy Anthony Davis is a way better big man than a Vooch. I think all three of us would agree if he's healthy, he's a way better player. And I think his demeanor and his swag is better. You know, Vooch, he carries himself like a monster. You know what I mean? Do you think any scenario that you would prefer Anthony Davis on this team?
No, it's not what the team's trying to build. Like Davis doesn't fit on this team. We're not trying to build through a superstar. This isn't a go for it year. Like if you're doing a go for it year, maybe, but this is a let's develop the young players. We can move on from some of the bigger contracts, like if they're let Vooch go or if they let Kobe go at the end of the year, but you're starting to develop the younger players and get Giddy involved or develop. So I don't see a reason why the Bulls would ever try to go for it this year.
Yeah, it seems to me like it would just be a ploy to sell more tickets. But honestly, that's just way too expensive of a player to go out and buy just to get tickets. I mean, in my opinion, would I love to see Anthony Davis on the Bulls? Sure. I love Chicago players, but at the same time, I'd rather it be via signing like a Drummond. Drummond was elite at one point, and then Bulls signed him at a pretty good bargain, and Drummond ended up being one of our favorite players. We love when Big Cat was on the floor. I wouldn't see a perfect world where I'd be okay with giving up a Kobe. Definitely not giving up a Patrick or Kevin Herter. If it was, and definitely no picks. What's the likelihood out of 10 that we do see an Anthony Davis trade come to Chicago?
1.
Okay.
I think it's a 1 for no other reason than the picks for me. You say what's a scenario that I'd be okay with it? If it was just players, you could sell me on it. I could see it then. I could wrap my head around it. But especially like if you're trading, say if it was Vooch and Kobe, I don't love that, but you're about to re-sign Kobe, right? So, and you might be re-signing Vooch depending on if they decide to let him walk for nothing or not. So if you can do the mental gymnastics, or I can at least, you were going to re-sign both of those guys and they would have cost as much as Anthony Davis combined, right? So like, okay, I can get there then, but if you're giving up first rounders,
yeah, that's a good scenario right there. Yeah, first rounders off the table. I mean, I almost wouldn't part with a second rounder at this point because we've had some good luck in the second round with Io. But yeah, if you're taking Vooch off my hands, fine. I'm a little skeptic of Kobe just because I want to see what this team looks like at full force before I even talk trades.
it's true. 100%.
Usually we see it all year round, but especially because the Bulls have had a lack of success the past few seasons, we see them really getting earlier and earlier, trade for this guy. And really, I want to see what this team has at full force. We won on a 5-game winning streak to open the season with our best scorer sitting on the bench, with one of our best down low guys in Zach Collins on the bench. You know what I mean? I want to see what this team looks like at full swing. And we've been on a string of nasty luck lately, which segues into our next segment here, which will take a majority of the show up. And that is, what do you guys think is going on right now? We're on a 4-game skid, which for all intents and purposes should have been a 6-game losing streak if it wasn't for some late game heroics during that 76ers game. So what have you guys seen differently for these last, actually, we'll do it, the last 6 games as opposed to those first 5?
I think part of it is a big part of it has just been the level of competition's been really tough, but missing like the last 2 for sure. We've really missed Josh Giddey. We've really missed Josh Giddey. His communication out there, like I just seen like the Bulls put out a clip, and he talks so much when he's out there on the court, and I think we don't hear it when we're watching the games, right? Because you don't hear any of the stuff that they're saying on the court. But I think it's easy to underestimate just how good of a leader Josh Giddey is, and how much he really rallies the team, not just as a point guard, but as a person. So I think that's been the biggest thing. Every other game has been close. Like when we've played with him, his games have been close. But the clutch time really hasn't been, it's been leaving something to be desired. And I'm hoping that getting Kobe back will help alleviate some of the fourth quarter, like late fourth quarter offensive woes that we've had, because that's to me been the difference maker in the wins and losses.
I like that. That's very well said. Yeah, I agree. Scotty B, what's been the problem lately? 6 games, we made one nail biter, and a couple games that we had in our hands, but we just let them go in the final moments there.
There's been a lot of sloppy gameplay. They're like the number one pace team in the league right now, and especially like the Detroit game. How often were they running down the floor and then someone would just run behind and tip the ball away because they're not paying attention? I do think Vooch really depends on Giddey to also be down there getting boards, because there's a lot of times he's just standing there watching the ball, like, and then there's just an offensive rebound because he's just not paying attention. But he's been playing terrible. He hasn't gotten 10 rebounds. Like in the last 4 games, he's gotten like 6 rebounds a game. A guy that we're expecting to get 10 to 12. His big thing was pick and pop. That's not something that's working really with Trey Jones. So there's half of his game is gone. And he seems afraid to play down low for some reason. Like, he was so much bigger than everybody on Detroit for half the game, and he just wasn't playing down low.
Yeah, I know that we basically, I mean, the stat sheet at the end of the game, if you saw Paul Reed's stat sheet at the end of the game, you would have think this guy was an NBA superstar. And then you're like, wait a second, who's Paul Reed?
I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't know who he was. I just saw some Reed guy, and I'm like,
That's
this Reed guy?
Bulls tradition to lose to a G League team.
You know, I knew they were going to hand
that Wizards game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Yep. Yeah. During when I made my 3 keys there, I'm like, oh, somebody said, oh, Cade's not playing. I'm like, oh, Cade is not playing. We stand a chance. Little did I know that 7 other players were out of the game. I'm like, oh, we have this, no doubt. And then I'm turning on the game, and then we got like a 22-point deficit at one point. It's like, what are we doing?
We can't stop superstars.
Yeah. Yeah. I like both very good answers. One thing that I've noticed is we tend to change our pace up a lot in the later moments of the game. And what I mean by this is the Bulls are pretty good. I'll take the games out where we get a really big deficit, but we're really good at bringing that deficit back down. But games that we have the lead in, the Bulls have this nasty habit of taking their foot off the pedal and just allowing the other team to crawl back into the game. And I guess what it is we're missing that killer instinct where if we're up by 20, bet we're going to be up by 40 by the end of the game. Like we just take our foot off the gate. I don't know if we just change our play style to a more conservative role and it doesn't really pay dividends for us, but I see a lot of changing of the strategy. For instance, I know you guys both mentioned it to me, the Wemby game against San Antonio. We had that man in borderline foul trouble. That guy had 4 fouls early on in the third quarter. 4 fouls, okay? What did that mean? We take it to him, get that man in foul trouble, make him not impact the game. Make him change the way he plays the game, because if he's got 5 fouls, he's going to play a little bit more cautiously, and he's not going to be as big a threat as you would think he is. But no, the Bulls went away from that strategy, and how did that affect them? Well, he ended up exploding late in the fourth quarter, including hitting that last 3 at the end of the game to kind of seal it. So those are more the errors that I would like to see change. Just keep your foot on the gas and hustle through it, man. It's a 48-minute game. You shouldn't be playing 36 minutes. You know what I mean? Phil, one question I have for you is this. Can you key any player in particular that's been you would like to see play a little better? You think they've been contributing on the more negative end of this roster?
I would say so besides Vooch, because honestly, Vooch has been real bad. Like I know before the last game, I had done his last 4 games, like the Detroit, Spurs, Cavaliers, and Bucks game. I just pulled up my tweet right here. He was averaging in those 4 games 10.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, and we were 0-4. So like if Vooch is averaging 10 and 6, that's not good enough. Like Jalen Smith in the same time has been averaging literally 12, 11, and like 2, but in only 18 minutes a game. Jalen Smith's been incredible. If I'm going to talk other guys that I think need to step it up, I'd like to see Okoro be a lot more efficient on the offensive end. If I'm being honest, I want to see Herter start at the 3. I thought it worked awesome last year to end the year. I thought he was a big part of why we were 15-6 to end the year. I understand. I know what the hope is with him starting. They think he's going to be able to, slow down the other team's best player. and he has contributed on the defensive end. But lately, he's had a couple of games that have been better on the offensive end, but it needs to be more consistent because a lot of games he's been really bad offensively. There's been more than one game where he's missed all of his shots, and it's like, hey man, appreciate your defense, but you got to be a threat out there in the corner at least a little bit. So, like to see Okoro play a little bit better. If I had to pick one guy. Also, Dalen Terry is giving me an anxiety attack every time he touches the ball. The kid seems like an awesome locker room presence. That matters. I don't want to take away from how much that matters. But holy crap, man, he's like, something goes wrong every time he puts the ball on the floor. And it's like, my God, man. Like, I want to see him figure it out. I feel bad for him. Casey Johnson before the season said that multiple people came to him and were like, Dalen Terry's been getting much better this offseason. So I came into the season like, whoa, Dalen Terry's going to be good this year. Like, that's going to be awesome. No, he's the same guy. He's the exact same guy. So I want to see it work out for him, but man, it's been rough.
Yeah, I always compare him to a giraffe on roller skates. Every time he gets the ball, it's like he panics. Yes. He doesn't know what to do. And his first move he makes is always like put the ball on the floor, try to do some flashy dribble move and turnover or bad pass.
Yeah, so pick up his dribble and then he's like, looking every which way, like trying to get out of it. It's like, all right, Dalen, like I want to see it work out for him, like I said, but he means well.
Yeah.
But man, he also can't shoot for shit. Sorry, excuse my language. But he can't.
No. We call it like it is. No, I agree. And you know what? I watch a lot of those Bulls snippets that they release where they interview the players. And you're right. I love Dalen Terry's character. He's a funny guy. And you could tell he's just a great guy to be around. But unfortunately, doesn't really pay dividends once his shoes hit the hardwood. So I agree. Scotty B, who have you think has been contributing negatively?
Well, going to Dalen Terry, I think it's just he's getting 4 minutes a game and he's just panicking like, I need to make an impact so I can get more minutes. And
that's a good point.
It's like everything that he showed last year, it's just he's panicking and just wants to act or try to get like impress everybody. But it's just like Sal said, giraffe on roller skates. He's just, yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
My biggest person is Modus. He comes out strong and then just disappears in the second half. Like, I don't know what happens. Like, if Billy's telling him to stop shooting or he's just gassed because this is the most he's been playing. But it kind of seems like he kind of disappears in the end of the fourth quarter. I'd like to see him continue to just play hard. And I think he just gets in his head a little bit too much if he's not playing well.
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting
lately his biggest. That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm like, lately his Achilles heel has been he collects fouls pretty quickly. But you know what? Albeit like, and I hate being the guy that blames the ref, man. He's getting called for a lot of silly fouls, man.
Yes, I feel like who did he piss off? It's like it feels like he can never get the beneficial whistle ever.
Yeah. When he goes up, he like hardly ever gets the call. And I mean, I get it. You're a young man in this league. You're gonna have to earn it. But at the same time, dude, the man's getting hacked on some plays and you're not calling it, but you're a little too close to this guy on the defensive end and you get called for the whistle. Like, but yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think you said it, Scott. You said at least, why is he trying to do too much? Just calm down and play. And it could be he's got a bigger role than last year. He feels like he's the guy that needs to step up. And I'll tell you what, though, if this is Matas Buzelis' sophomore slump, I'll allow it. Man's still playing with insane energy and shows incredible upside. So if this is a bad year for him, so be it, man. That man's still going to be a leader of this team going forward.
The one thing I've seen recently is he stopped being Patrick Williams and trying to dunk on everybody, which is great. He's actually going for the layup. Like, yeah, we know he has the hops, but stop trying to dunk on people mid-game. Like, I don't care. No one cares about the highlights. Just score. Be a winning player.
Yeah. In the end of the day, you could posterize anybody in this league, but if you don't get the win, it's a wasted highlight.
Yeah, just like the guy who posted Modus, granted in the summer league, it was a pretty dirty poster and it looked awful, but Noah's going to have a much better career. And so nobody's going to remember that poster. So
yes, I agree 100%. Yeah. I think my guy that I was picking that's contributed negatively was going to be Vooch as well, just because the first 5 games, the man looked like he rejuvenated himself. I mean, he was He was second in scoring. He was grabbing boards. He looked like a whole new Vooch. I mean, I
Yes.
went from who can we get for this guy to how much can we give this guy so he sticks around? And now I'm more shifted back towards maybe we need to give more minutes to Smith and Collins when they get back. But I feel like Vooch is just way too experienced and way too good of a player to be playing the way he is. Where would you put Vooch all time as far as Bulls centers?
That's a great question. To be honest with you, we haven't had a lot of great centers in my lifetime. I've been watching since '98. I'd say, he's probably second behind Noah. I'm trying to think of anyone else that he might be behind Powell. I might put him behind Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol's pretty good.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, he's up there. I will say, I think he's underappreciated. Like, a lot of Bulls fans hate Vooch. I don't hate Vooch. I hate how bad he is on defense, but he brings a lot. Like, I tell this to people, if you go through NBA history, the amount of players that have because he has everything in his post bag. He could do everything that you ask for from a player in the post. That you add on the 50, 40, 80 shooting splits, especially the 40% from downtown. There's very few players in NBA history, 7-footer, who has a post bag and can shoot 40% from downtown. Very few. You're talking like Joker. He might be like one of like 5 guys in NBA history who could do that. But
Yeah.
it's a shame he can't play any defense.
Yes. Yeah. Could you imagine? Because I'm with you. I started watching in the 90s. I still think 90s is the best era of basketball.
Oh, yeah.
You can at me. I don't care. Like, there's people that'll say that, no, this is the best era right now. No. 90s was top notch. Could you imagine a 90s Nikola Vucevic? Like, the post was elite back then. Could you imagine his post back in the day? I mean, it would be insane.
Yeah, and guys weren't as crazy athletic. He would have fit so well. Like, he would have been Michael Jordan's wet dream back in the day, man.
I love that comparison. Yeah. Cause swap out Longley for Vooch. I mean, come on. I mean, Longley is great. I love my Longley. Longley was my guy, but I mean, could you imagine having a Vooch on that team? Insane.
God, it would have been
Yeah.
unfair.
Yeah, I'm with you. I always put him number 2. I just because it's hard to replace. It's hard to be better than Noah because he did more for the city outside of stats. Like, he was your enforcer, he was your go-getter, he was your character. I mean, he was the total package, and he was 5th in MVP voting one year when Derek was on.
I always bring that up when people want to talk about Noah. I'm like, he was literally on the MVP ballot. A guy that can't shoot, a guy who's shooting two-handed.
The cyclone shot.
Yeah, like, I think he might be the ugliest shot that's ever made it that high on an MVP ballot, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah. Did you see his speaking of Noah, did you see his Nomad skit with Derrick Rose?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I love seeing those guys together. The amount of love that they clearly actually have between them, it's not fake for the cameras. It's really great. The camaraderie from that Bulls era, I really hope we get to see this version of the Bulls go far too, because I think that there's that same level of chemistry brewing between the guys. And I'd love to, look back in 20 years and, we get our Josh Giddey hanging out with, whether it's Vooch or Modus or whoever, looking back on the glory days. That'd be awesome.
Very well said. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of, like, when a happy team wins basketball games. You know what I mean? We had our skid there where we had a lot of alphas on the team, and, like, I hate to pick on Jimmy because I know Jimmy's a superstar, but, players like that who you don't really, you could tell that people don't get along with him, but they respect him because of how well he plays. But I'm a big fan of, like, the Rose and Noah connection, or in my day, the Jordan and Pippen on the court, even though they weren't the best of friends off the court from what we learned. But yeah, I'm big into camaraderie there.
Chemistry matters.
Chemistry's king. That's why it's a stat in the corner in 2K when you're playing.
Facts. Big fact.
Have you guys watched I think it's the Kid in the 3 podcast that had
I haven't seen it yet. I heard about
it. Was Giddey, Io, and Modus. It's really good. But one of the things they talk about is this team is very close. They're having dinner with each other. They're going out when they're home. They're like going to people. They're like hanging out together. So, and that's one thing they talked about, is how different this team is compared to previous years, because they're actually like enjoying each other's company.
Yeah. It
matters.
Yeah. I guess the closest thing we have now to that Noah and Rose connection would be, like, Io and Matas are so close. They stream together. They play video games together. And I enjoy watching that because it's like, even though the Bulls lose, like they're still happy. They still love being a part of each other's lives. Like it's an incredible thing. And now that we're speaking about incredible and happy, what player do you think has exceeded expectations in the last 6 games or the whole year? What player do you think has been playing beyond what you expected him to be playing?
Jalen Smith.
Yes.
Gotta go with Sticks, man. Because I expected Josh Giddey to be awesome. I was very loud about how much I believed in Josh Giddey. I also believe in Herter, and I've been loud about that. I thought that Sticks was solid, but not this good. He's been excellent over the last 6 games. He's been his efficiency has been incredible. I don't know if I can find it here, but I had just made a post about what he was doing for the Bulls, and he was shooting. Here we go. Not including the last game, but so the games before the Detroit game, he was averaging 18 minutes a game, 12.5 points a game, 57.5% from the field, 48% from 3. Like, that's an insane number. 7.5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's just been so good, and good enough to the point where he's been that good while Vuce has been slumping. It's like, I mean, can you cut Vuce's minutes down a little bit? Because I mean, when a guy's only getting 18 minutes a game and averaging 12.5 points a game, that's a really impressive number. So I've been very, especially he started the year with that stinker in the first game against Detroit. I think he was like 0-7 from the field or something. So really happy to see him bounce back. And then Trey Jones has been the other one. I thought he's been good, but he's been way better than even I thought, especially steal defensively. His averaging like 2 steals a game. It's been really, really solid.
Yeah. That Sticks. You took. That's what I was gonna say. Sticks, and
My apologies.
Scotty B. No. We that just means that we both watching the same games. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Herter. We brought
Yeah.
him in to be a 3-point specialist, and he's actually the worst 3-point shooter on our team. But
Who's the
he's
best?
like, that's a good question, but he is driving like crazy. He's moving around without our off ball. I think he's averaging 1 block a game. He's averaging he's just everywhere, and he's just really good driving, which I did not expect for him. And I think it's really helping Modus to see what he can do. He is scoring over 50% this year from the field. So it for a guy that's shooting 31% from 3, but to still have over 50% field goal is crazy. And he's playing really good defense this year. And that's not something I expected for him. I kind of expected him to be a Kyle Korver type player. And that's not what we're getting. And I love every minute of it. And I'm already on the re-sign him bandwagon.
I agree. While we're here, because you mentioned it, I actually have the 3-point percentage leader on the team pulled up. You guys know who it is.
I did the same thing, so I'm cheating if I tell you who it is.
Please, because I smirked at this.
Io Dosunmu?
Javon Carter has 71.4% from 3. And then Dalen Terry right behind him at 50%. But
No,
Io's
it's
third.
not. Oh my God, Dalen Terry doesn't deserve to be up there.
I'll say, if you go off of guys that regularly play and shoot the ball, Io Dosunmu was the leader at almost 46%, which is insane. This guy has got, when it comes to scoring, Io's got to be one of the most accurate scorers that we've had. I mean, he's shooting well over 50%. I think, Scott, you brought up the stat last show that he's one of the most accurate players in our history. So big fan of Io Dosunmu.
By the way, Dalen Terry's only taken 2 threes and hit one of them. So,
hey man,
There's
50 is a 50. 50 is a 50, bro.
I should've
That
known
one year,
about
Kurt
Javon
Thomas averaged 100% from 3 that one year. He took 1 shot, but he made it. So, no, you.
I would say I should have known about Javon Carter. He's been lights out since the preseason.
Mhm.
He was filling it up, man, and it drives me nuts because, it doesn't. If he's gonna keep playing like this, then actually I don't mind him getting some bench minutes. But the last couple years, though, have been really bad watching him play basketball.
Yeah.
But right now, he's been instant offense for the Bulls, which has been nice to see.
Yeah, I know that Detroit game when we were down in the 20s, he was a big, caveat and a spark for why we made our comeback, if you want to call it comeback. But he hit a couple clutch threes and kind of narrowed that deficit down. I'm gonna take the side of Phil there. I'm gonna say Jalen Smith was my pick who has just been playing out of this world, just because the fact that this is a guy that, after the trade deadline last season, he like disappeared. We didn't even see him. Like Zach Collins started playing. I don't know if they just wanted to see what Zach Collins has, but I mean, the guy was nowhere to be found. And then when he came out the first game against Detroit and kind of laid that goose egg, I'm like, man, like we're screwed. Like there's no way that Sticks can play like this and we have a good year. But the last 6 games, the man has been playing like borderline, dare I say it, start the man. You know what I mean? Like he's just been excelling at his position. I'll give an honorable mention. I know that we love to hate this guy, but we got to give Pat Williams his flowers, man. He's finally found his groove.
I love that because I was out on Pat to start the year, but I thought, it's not about the stats set, to be honest, right now, for me, at least with Pat, it's about how he's playing. I thought he's been way more aggressive, way more decisive, being more confident when he gets in his bag. If you're going to miss, but at least confidently make your move and shoot the ball. Still can't complete a dunk like Scotty brought up earlier. My God, this man misses more dunks than anybody I've seen in my life. But with that being said, I've been very impressed by his play this year, to the point where I was almost like, man, maybe we should be starting him instead of Okoro. But I'm, don't want to mess up a good thing. He's doing good with his limited role right now, so maybe we shouldn't tinker with that.
Yeah. I always, I second that, because one of my biggest things I've always said is his worst thing that Patrick Williams had going for him is he was drafted 4th overall in an okay draft class. If he would have been drafted like Dalen Terry's, 14th, late first round pick, he would have exceeded expectations. I mean, dare I say he would have been a great pick, you know what I mean? But I think Patrick Williams, with him being the 4th overall pick and then basically forcing him down our throats, like, no, we have to make this work. He's a top 5 pick. We got to start him. He's got to get his play time, like, and it never really played dividends until he got rotated to the bench there. Very good, very good.
He is second in the team in steals.
Patrick Williams is?
Yes.
What's he got per game?
He's averaging like 1 point. It might be 1 a game.
Solid.
Or 1.2.
I mean, solid. This coming from a guy that comes off the bench. I mean, solid. Like I said, we used to hate on Patrick Williams. If you're an avid follower of the show, I mean, we used to have at least one time during the show where we hate on Patrick Williams, but that hasn't been the case this year. I mean, we're 12 games in and we've had nothing but good things to say about him. So, gentlemen, before we move on to our predictions for the Utah Jazz game, I know this show will come out after we've played them, but we like doing that so that we know if we're right or not. If there's one thing you would change about this team right now to ensure a successful season, what would it be?
A rim protector, someone to block the shot at the rim. We don't have that. I mean, the top who's leading our team in blocks? I mean, Modus and Herter's averaging a block a game somehow right now. I don't. That's not going to last. There's no chance that's going to last. But Modus is averaging a block a game. I think that might go up. I think he's great, but he's not really a rim protector. He's more of a shot blocker, but he's not really defending the paint like that, So an Isaiah Stewart or someone like that would be fantastic for the team. I know he's a Detroit Piston, boo, Detroit Piston, but he's averaging 2 blocks a game off the bench in limited minutes. Someone like that would be fantastic. Or, if we ended up getting trading Vooch for whoever we got back was a shot blocker, that'd be great. But yeah, I really think this team needs rim protection more than anything. Nobody's scared to drive the paint against the Bulls. And you watch us play a team like the Spurs. My God, man, Wemby was just, throwing a block party, and it's hard not to be envious of that.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony Davis has made his fair share of blocks.
He does fit he does fit the bill there. That's a big plus in his corner. It's just the health. It's just the health.
Yeah. I like your Isaiah Stewart reference, because I don't know why his name is constantly being brought up in trades every year. Like, he's constantly getting shopped around. I don't know if it's just because he's that good, but you would think a team like Detroit on the up and up here, they would rally to keep him. I don't know if I know he's gotten himself in a fair share of trouble on the court, and he's kind of a bozo at times, but talent is talent.
Yeah, and sometimes you need a bozo on your team. I mean,
exactly.
Especially if you have a good group like the Bulls have, you'd like to think you can have one guy. It's like the Bulls in the 90s when they brought in Rodman. He's no Rodman, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can wrangle in a guy's crazier characteristics and get the best out of him. As far as what Detroit's doing, also they decided they weren't going to re-sign Jalen Duren, you brought him up earlier, Scotty. I would love to see the Bulls go after Jalen Duren in the offseason.
Yeah, that guy's just going to sit back and watch the offers come in because that man is absolutely insane. And I think he's like 23, 22. He's super young.
Yeah. I can't believe they did not re-sign him. That's gonna haunt them. They made a mistake.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe you'll see them. I mean, I can maybe see them making a push for the, Sabonis has quietly been shopped around. Maybe you can see them make a push for Sabonis. See Jalen Duren on the Kings. I mean, I don't know. As much as I'd like to see him on the Bulls, you know what I mean? I think that maybe Sabonis finds his way back in the Eastern Conference Central Division. Who knows?
I could see that. I suppose I could see that. It'd be funny if the Bulls were able to make a play for Sabonis, though, just because we do a lot of business with the Kings.
Yeah, we do.
Kings, Sacramento, are you sure you don't want Vucevic?
The 23 Bulls
sure
were really good. They should rebuild that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Run it back, guys.
Run it back,
with Westbrook.
With
What
Westbrook.
could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Just like the oldest team in the NBA. It worked for us for about 30 games, Scott? We were number one.
Lonzo was the only reason.
Yeah, exactly. Which we totally won that Isaac Okoro trade right now, in my opinion.
I mean, as long as Okoro plays, it's more than we were getting from Lonzo, unfortunately. I love Lonzo as a player, but man, dude is walking IR.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Scotty B, if you could change one thing about this team to make it a more cohesive unit, well-oiled machine, what would it be? Besides, we know you want Anthony Davis. We'll skip that.
Really, I think Billy's still in the mindset of he has a game plan and he can't change from it in the end of the game. You see it a little bit like when he benched Modus when he was playing terribly, but I forgot which game it was where he benched Sticks, who was 100% from the field and leading the team in points and like had a double-double in 2 quarters. And then he benched him for the rest of the game and put Vooch in. Just like keep the hot players out there. Like stick with that. That's what I'd like to see. Really, I don't want to make any trades until we get the team back healthy or everybody's back. But at some point, I think we are going to have to get rid of someone just because there's not going to be enough time.
I agree. Like it. I think my only key would be just put your pedal to the metal, man. Stop taking your foot off the gas. I mean, we've been playing a lot of good teams, and for a majority of those games, we've been shorthanded without Kobe. Now, more recently, we've been shorthanded without Giddey. And with the exception of the Detroit game, we played a pretty good game. I mean, despite losing them, I mean, we kept it pretty reasonable. I mean, the problem is in later minutes, we let off the gas. And I would like to see the Bulls just adapt that killer instinct and keep it going for all 4 quarters instead of just playing the first half or the last half. You know what I mean? I think we'd win a lot more games that way. So now that we're here, gentlemen, we got a game tonight against the Utah Jazz. They currently have a losing record, which has usually come to bite the Bulls in the behind, because we look at the record and say, all right, yeah, this, we can slack off a little bit this game. It's just the Jazz, but what's your predictions for tonight's game there, Phil?
I honestly think so. Kobe's supposed to be back. Shams reported that Kobe is expected to play tonight, and so with that in mind, and Giddey being back, I think tonight is going to be a big Bulls victory. I think they come out and make a statement. Obviously we're on a 4-game skid. We've got to win. The boys know that, and with Kobe back, I think it's going to give the team a shot in the arm. I think I'm looking at a double-digit Bulls victory tonight, really.
Beautiful. Do you think that Kobe's going to come back and they're going to try too hard to get him involved and sacrifice some points or some better shot options, or do you think that he's going to come back and say, hey, you know what? You guys have been doing this. Where do you want me?
I think that they'll just play within the offense. I think that that's one thing I really like about Kobe's game that makes him different from Zach LaVine, is that he usually gets his production within the offense. It's usually not pass the ball to Kobe and watch him make, 7 moves and take up 15 seconds of the shot clock. It's usually, he gets his points within the offense or on the break, So I think that he'll play within the offense. Maybe they'll try and get him involved, maybe just subconsciously, but I wouldn't say that that's going to be too big of an issue. I don't think it'll be.
I like that answer. Scotty B, we got the Jazz tonight, them and their weird Wi-Fi hotspot, Jordan push-off, whatever. Who do you got winning?
I think the Bulls can win this game, but it really It depends how Kobe plays, but we've seen him and Giddy play together. Hopefully Giddy can stay out on the floor. I don't know if they're going to try to slow roll both of them back into the lineup, but if both of them play the full game, I think it's a pretty easy win. I really don't want to go on a 5-game losing streak because there's a very big possibility if we lose this game, we go on we can lose the next 3 games after this because they're against good teams. So this can be a really good confidence builder, bounce back win for them.
Yeah,
but
I like that because
they need to shut down Markkanen, and you know how ex-Bulls players play against us. So
yeah, glad you said that because like I said to people, we started the season off 5-0. And that's great, but I want to see how good this team is after their first loss because when you're winning games and confidence is high and everything, things are going great. But I want to see how low this team hangs their head after a loss, and you see it's starting to take effect that the Bulls fell off of that confidence, and kind of expose themselves for that matter. I'm with you guys though. Before I even found out that Kobe was coming back, I had predicted the Bulls were going to take this game pretty comfortably, with the exception of the fact that, like I said earlier, the Bulls tend to play down to their competition. We look at the record and we say, all right, this isn't going to be so bad. But then yet we'll turn around and play like the Denver Nuggets coming up, and we know we're playing the Nuggets. We got to be on our A game, and we step up, which I appreciate that more. But at the same time, every win counts in this league, especially if you're a team like the Bulls where we constantly are separating ourselves from play-in and playoffs by a few games. I'd like to see us kind of tighten the reins down a little bit. So I'm going to get the dub to the Bulls pretty comfortably. I think I said double digits too, Phil. So I like that we think alike, man.
Yes, sir. Great minds.
Well, Phil, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We love our guests and we love what you're doing. You do a great. I watch you even when I'm watching the game. I watch the live commentary. It's so good.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, our pleasure's on this side of the table here. But you're a guest on the show, and we can't let any guest leave the show without playing a game of Horns or Thorns. I don't know how familiar you are with Horns or Thorns. It's essentially a this or that, buy or sell, agree or disagree, where I give you a scenario. If you agree with it, you say Horns. If you disagree with it, you say Thorns. If you want to elaborate your decision, you can. Scotty B, if you want to chime in, I'll throw them your way too. All right, you guys ready to play?
Let's do it.
Question number 1. This was my favorite one. The Chicago Bulls move Kobe before the end of the season.
Thorns.
Okay. Scott?
Thorns.
you could elaborate.
You can elaborate, yeah.
Just Thorns because I think that they really view Kobe as a franchise player. Whether they should or not, I think is a different question. Whether they will, I think they stick with him and re-sign him. So Thorns.
Perfect. Question number 2. This has been a question on all Bulls fans' minds the last 6 to 7 games. Bulls make the playoffs comfortably. No play-in, just comfortably seated, and we know we're in the final and we're in the postseason.
Horns. I've been saying that they're going to be the 6th seed all offseason. I'm not going to stray from it now. I believe at full strength that this team is going to elevate this season. I think, like you said about playing down to the competition, it's something I thought we did much better after we moved off of Zach LaVine. No shade against Zach, or maybe it is a little bit, but for whatever reason, when he led the team, we did that a lot. And I thought at that 15-6 run, we did a much better job of putting our foot on the necks of the teams that weren't very good. So I'm hoping to see that again this season. And if we do that, then Horns for sure.
Beautiful. Scotty B?
Yeah, same thing. Horns. I think during this is early season. We're playing a really tough schedule. When we start getting towards the December, January games, I feel like our pace is going to wear some teams down. So they're not going to want to come into Chicago, especially if it's a back-to-back. So fifth or sixth seed.
Love it.
Love it. This is kind of since the NBA Emirates Cup or whatever they're calling it now, the Bulls have failed to make a knockout stage appearance. We got really, really close last season, and we had some tough teams in that one. So is this the year, question 3, is this the year that the Bulls make the knockout phase of the NBA?
I'm going to say Thorns because they lost to the Bucks. I think if they would have won that game against the Bucks, I would have said Horns, but I'm worried now that that's going to be the reason that we don't make it to the knockout stage. Because if you don't win the group, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be the best team in the conference, right? It's like 6 teams that move on from the group, and then whatever the best record in group was that is the best in the conference or whatever is the one that remains. I'm going to say Horns because I think that Milwaukee's going to win the group, but I don't think we're going to be high enough in the Eastern Conference standings to make it otherwise. which is a bummer. I really wanted to win the NBA Cup. I know that's dumb. I wanted to win it anyways.
Yeah, we got to win something, man. Us Bulls fans,
That.
we've been looking for some sort of a win
That
since '98, man.
I
Like,
wanted
come
anything. Yeah.
I'll salute the flag that they hang up in the stadium. What did they give? They put like a flag up now when you win the cup. Come on,
Fantastic.
Scotty B. Do we make a cup appearance?
I don't think so. We're not going to win the group. The Bucks have, since I think they've gone like 14-0 for the last like 2 years in cup games. So I don't see the Bucks losing out on making it. But I believe the tiebreaker is like point differential. It's either point differential or like total points scored. Hence why we were playing our starters at the end of the Bucks game. But I don't think we're going to be able to make the wild card because I think it's only one team in the Eastern Conference that makes it.
Yeah,
but I think we'll be top 2-3 of the wild card potential.
Yeah.
I would love to see it though. I'm with you, man. I love the. I mean, the courts. I'll give it take it like the court this year is a lot better than it used to be. That red just gave me a headache, but I want to play in some sort of tournament. We've been without a playoff since what 3-4 years now. Come on, like.
Yes, and we crawled into the last playoff like we knew we weren't going to do much because Lonzo was hurt. So I'm with you, and I thought the single elimination nature of the tournament would play into our favor. We'd actually have a chance to win it. But
yeah, the Bulls, like playoffs, like we play a lot of teams really hard, and I think single game. Like you said, it's very heavy in our favor. We play teams hard, but we just got to get there first.
Yeah, the win against the Knicks was huge, but man, we got to beat Milwaukee, man.
Yeah, which is wild because with I'm like, I see the teams that we got. And I'm like, this could be our year, but New York, we beat New York, and then we let Giannis take over in the Bucks game, which, like you said, is going to come back to bite us in the behind, and who knows? But I hope it happens. Question 4. This one should be an easy one. Josh Giddey makes his first ever All-Star appearance for the Chicago Bulls this season.
Horns, baby, horns.
Yes.
Dude, Josh Giddey's the man. He's playing at an MVP level right now, and I know that might rub some people the wrong way, but a 20-point triple-double is an MVP level stat line. So I love what Josh Giddey's doing, and he was worth $30 million to me, let alone AK deserves flowers for the $25 million price tag that he got him for. He's well worth that. Well worth that.
Yeah, I was afraid that, he'd come out this season after losing out on $5 million a year and kind of resent it. And he hasn't been playing like that at all. He's been playing like, I should have gotten that 30, but that's okay. I'll take your 25 and still prove I'm going to be one of the top point guards in this game. I love it. Scotty B, does Josh Giddey make the All-Star game?
If ESPN has anything to say about it, no, but.
Oh my God. I love that comment. I love the comment.
Yeah, but I think part of it, yes, because of how he's playing, but part of how the new format is because there's an international team. So tell me a better international point guard, unless you're going to say Shea is a point guard.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, but I think he makes it. He's going to be averaging a triple-double this year.
I love it.
Yeah.
So controversial question. Okay. Controversial question. And this is we're going to get a lot of comments on this. I guarantee you. Who is a better point guard, Shea or Josh Giddey? Not who puts up the most stats. Who is a better point guard?
Give me Josh Giddey. Give me the man. See, Red UK calls him the barista because he serves it up just the way everybody likes it. I like that. And
that's beautiful.
As a fan of 90s basketball, give me the guy that actually is a point guard. Shea's the best player okay. He's not the best player in the league. That's Joker. But, Shea's the MVP. He's awesome, but he's a shooting guard playing point guard. So,
yeah, he's basically Iverson for those few years. Yeah, I love it. Scott, who's better? Josh, not better. Hold on. Let me not set you up as a failure here.
Giddey's back to the pure point guard. He's what Magic Johnson was, where he could do everything. If you're building a team, who knows? Like, can't say I wouldn't take. Actually, if I'm building a team, I would take Shea just because he's an MVP. But again, he's a shooting guard. He's not a point guard.
Beautiful. And our final question, because I woke up in a good mood. I saw the Bears win and put me in a good mood. So the Bears make the playoffs this year. Horns or Thorns?
Horns, baby. Bear down. Let's go.
Scott, I know you read me the stat line of the next few games that they play. So I know you're going to disagree, but like, just tell them what games we got coming up and why you think that they may not make the playoff. I already know you're going to say Thorns, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but if you look at the remaining schedule, they could lose 6 or 7 of these games. The Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions. They could lose every single one of those games. Like, who knows? But we could also win every single one of those games. Like, the Bears have not had a hard schedule, and they seem to keep coming out on top. So I would love to see them make the playoffs. And I think we have the right coach. And I think if we can get a healthy defense back for once and stop getting our secondary hurt every game, because I think Stevenson got hurt today.
Yes.
Brisker got hurt running into his own player. Like, stop ruining our secondary. At some point, we got to have a healthy team, and I think we can stay with anybody. Plus, I don't think, like, I just want to see us beat the shit out of the Packers twice. I just want that to happen. I want us to beat the Packers, and then LaFleur gets fired, and then the Giants hire him.
I will say though, like, you know, the Packers look like they're beatable this year. Like, I'm not gonna go on wax and say that, you know, we're gonna handle them pretty well, because like you guys said, we're just it's a luck of the draw what team's gonna show up. But I'm liking our luck this year against the Packers. They're looking more like a beatable team this year. I mean, obviously we got a better record than them, and the team that we destroyed in the Cowboys, they ended up tying, which real quick, like, what do you guys think of that tie? Like, keep it, lose it?
Keep it. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it makes the Packers even worse that they tied with the Cowboys. How embarrassing. It's going to bite them. It's going to bite them in the ass, because they're just not going to have as many wins, and it's going to keep them out of the playoffs.
I like it.
If you're gonna get rid of it, let's do the college football playoffs. Overtime thing. If that's the way that they're gonna go, then you know what, man, just give each team the ball in the 20 and let them score until they don't match anymore. But I like the ties. I don't know. It barely ever happens. So when it happens, it feels special.
Yeah. I love hearing people's like answer, like, what can you do differently over, you know, the overtime rules. And one guy at work, it was hilarious, because he's like, they need to go to like the World Cup, just get each kicker 5-on-5, how many field goals he can make from further back. I'm like, okay, it's different, but okay. Like, start at the 20, and then, you know, by the end of the game, you're kicking a 70-yarder for the win. So either way, I'm with you guys. I love that overtime rule, because it keeps some teams out. Like the Packers, I'm not going to shit on them, because like they always embarrass us, but it's fun. The rivalry is fun. That could very well be the thing that keeps them out of the postseason, especially if we can steal a game from them. Like, come on.
For sure.
Well, Phil, as a reward for hustling through Horns or Thorns, you've earned some FaceTime. So go ahead, address the fans however you please. You're on the clock. Time's yours. Whatever you got to say, go ahead.
Man, I've been a big fan of Around the Horn my whole life, so I feel like I got the FaceTime at the end of that show. I
gotta get some paper for the paper toss real quick.
There's a little horn that goes off, but I love it, man. Hey, it's been really fun talking ball with you guys. I hope this won't be the last time. It's an honor to be here. You know, I'm really excited about where the Chicago Bulls are going. It's been a really rough time for Chicago sports fans. I think that after these last few years of historic losing, because I think we went on with the worst combined winning percentage for Chicago sports franchises as a whole over a 3-year period in Chicago sports history. So we're crawling out of that. I think that the Bears are back. I think the Bulls are back. And so, yeah, man, exciting time to be a Chicago sports fan. Modus, Vucevic, and Caleb Williams are going to lead us to the promised land, and everything is going to be A-okay from there. I'm an eternal optimist, so sometimes in the face of when there's really no optimism to be had. But I've had optimism for way worse teams than the two teams we're rooting for right now. So I'm excited. Hopefully that means great things for everything you guys are doing with Horns Over Hoops and what I'm doing with Just Another Year and Bulls Without Borders. And yeah, going forward, it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And Phil, for that first comment, this definitely won't be the last time that you're coming on. You're welcome back anytime. We love talking hoops. We love guests, especially like the Bulls fan base, like the content creators of the Bulls. I tip my hat to you guys, because like, we really know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? You don't see many content creators that have just been watching the game for a year decide to make a show. It's people who have watched the terrible teams that the Bulls have produced over the years and has still decided to take time out of their day to make a video about it, make a pod about it. So I really tip my hat to our community, because like it's a lot of work being a Bulls fan right now, but hopefully we're up on the up and up here.
Agreed 100%, and appreciate you, Sal. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate you. My goal is still to be having this podcast for at least one for one Bulls championship. I would love to be producing the show for at least one Bulls championship. Even if you see my 80-year-old ass on here, oxygen, and, attached to all sorts of machines, as long as I get to say, what's good, Bulls fans, your world champion Bulls fan, like, I'll be happy. That'll be a complete life. So Scotty B as a runner-up for Horns or Thorns. I don't know how you win or lose, but whatever. You get some FaceTime too. What do you got?
Well, first, I can't believe he started listing off young Chicago stars and didn't list Connor Bedard. That guy is going wild right now.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm a Bulls and Bears guy first and foremost, so that's on me.
Yeah. Hey. But I don't know. It's a good time for Chicago. We're actually starting to bounce back. I think that you brought that stat up about Chicago being the worst sports city in a long time. I think 70% of that is the White Sox. So take that with a grain of salt.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I think every team just seems to be getting better. I think we're starting to get back to what Chicago sports should be. So this is an exciting time. I'm as much as we were pissed last year about AK coming out and saying, oh, you don't need a superstar. You just need a bunch of good bench players. And we were like, come on, go. No, we don't need this. And maybe he was right. So I'm excited for the season and to see what happens.
Yeah. But by the way, while we're on the depressed topic of how terrible the Chicago teams are, did you know that the Bulls are the only major sports team in the 2000s who have not played for a championship? The Bears did it in 2006. They got to the Super Bowl. 2005, the White Sox made it. Cubs, as you know, won in 2016. The Sky won it in 2019. Blackhawks have did it, won championships. We have not been to an NBA Finals in the 2000s.
Pretty sure the Fire also won a championship or made to the championship.
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yes.
It's brutal. It's our time. It means we're due. We're due.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, again, thank you for being here and talking Bulls with us. Please, if you have not done so already, go follow Phil on all of his socials and his platforms. Go check out his content. If you happen to be listening to the game tonight, listen to Phil do his commentaries. It's really, really good. I enjoy it. Like I said, I listen to it and watch the game at the same time. So it really is good. If you haven't checked out our previous episodes, go ahead and do so. That we try our best. We're going to be putting out a bunch of shorts for this episode, so go on there, show some love for the shorts, subscribe, help us get to 10K. We're a little under halfway there, but every man needs a dream. With that being said,
where can we find the live commentary? Is that on Twitter?
It's on his Twitter. Yeah, he does it through Twitter. And
Twitter or YouTube too. It's on YouTube as well. Just Another Year Chicago Bulls. And like I said, it's at JAYCHI_Bulls. You could find the channel on X or on YouTube using that handle. So
yeah, it's really good too.
I try, but I love it.
It doesn't even, it looks like it comes naturally. That's the thing, is you could tell when people try too hard, but yours, it just comes naturally. You got a voice for commentary.
Thank you. I honestly, I grew up wanting to do it, and I didn't end up pursuing it. And I probably should have, because I if I can not be, I like to be humble and everything, but I'm pretty good at it. So I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Most def. With that being said, we encourage our Bulls fans and our Horniacs to see red, go Bulls, and let's kick some Utah Jazz ass. What do you say? Good night, everybody.